Hi everyone. So we're finally getting to do this part 2 of the Muse guitars because it took me so long to find a good way to use these electric guitars. And so I have got Shut Up and Dance from Walk the Moon, one of my favorite songs. And I found the guitar parts and there's some really nice different changes in sound and so many different guitar parts as well. We've got 7 different guitar parts as well as the bass. So I thought, yeah, let's use that as our demo. I will say it again, I am not a guitarist, so I apologize if I offend any guitarists, but I'm excited to learn and do some research and see what we can figure out about these different guitar sounds that we have available in MuseSounds. And let's go and have a look at those. So we've already looked at the acoustic nylon, and I don't think we've looked at the steel ones, but that's not my kind of thing yet. Maybe we'll do another one. But today, definitely, we're going to focus on the electric bass and the electric LPs in clean, heavy, and lead, as well as the electric SC in clean, heavy, and lead. And from what I've been able to figure out, I'm sure this is obvious to most guitarists. In the overview, they tell us that they've got these things. Need they say more? And, well, for me, yes, because I don't know guitars. But it seems like we figured out that it's a Stratocaster is the SC, and the Les Paul is the LP. I'm not sure why they don't actually say that, but anyway, these are the different sounds that we've got. So let's jump in. In the intro section, we have this nice finger picking style with the stopped rhythm, or stopped strumming. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but it's these cross note heads. And all the defaults, when we open up our mixer, the defaults for the electric guitars come in electric LP, clean. And of course we've got our electric bass, and the drums I've just put onto a power kit because it sounds right. As you can see, there were I've got the vocals in here, but I've just taken them out. We don't need to hear them now. The choir parts don't mix so well with the guitars. But anyway, to the guitars. So we've got the finger picking and the stopped strumming. And I really quite like this on the LP clean. That really works nicely. It's got a nice attack to each note, but let's try the SC clean. So we'll go MuseSounds, Muse Guitars Volume 1, and SC clean. I also like this Volume 1 and suggest that there's more coming. But SC clean for now, and let's see how that sounds. Okay, so it's also really nice sound. For me, I'm missing a bit of that attack. It sounds a bit synthy. I don't know if that is characteristic of these SC. I'm just going to keep calling them SC and LP. I don't know if that's characteristic, but I'm going to keep it on the LP clean because I like that. What about the strumming? Okay, so for me, that's just a bit of a hard sound. I don't know if it's because there's so many different notes and they're all hitting at once because this is not actually strumming them. Look, we could go and put in the actual strumming sound, but I don't think that's what we want at this point. So let's try the SC one as well. Now that is very interesting. That's such a different sound, but I suspect that these two combined are going to be really quite cool. Yeah, that is okay. So that seems to work better for this particular one. Now both of these can have a bit of something added. So let's use our auxiliary 2 to add in the Muse effects a delay. And because this is kind of fairly classic, I'm going to choose the analog slapback and let's amp it all the way up. And then we can send our electric LP. Why not? Let's probably not that one too much. Let's just add a little bit of delay. Let's see how that sounds. Compared to. Yeah, it's nice with that little bit of extra delay. That's very cool. Okay, so let's keep that in there. This one can have some delay as well. Why not? All right, so we've got some delay. Let's also, this reverb is very well suited to orchestral music, but I think we need something different for this. So let's, in our auxiliary one, we'll change it from the default Muse reverb, go to Muse Effects, Reverb. Not that that's confusing at all, but this one gives us far more options. in terms of what kind of reverb we want. And again, going for the classic rock sound, let's go for a plate reverb, turn it all the way up, and probably now bring it down here. Now we've got the control in the mixer rather than having to open it up every time we want to adjust it. So that's pretty cool. Let's see how this sounds. Yeah, let's give it a bit more. Let's go 100%. I don't know, is that too much? I really like that sound as an intro. I think that's fantastic. Let's give this one a bit more as well. You know what, let's bring that to -6, see if that helps. Okay, great. Next, the bass comes in with the drums, and let's have a look at this bass, because the electric bass is our only option. Well, is it? We do have access to the sound fonts MS Basic, and there are some bass sounds in there. But let's just see what we've got here on its own. So in this high pitch, it's in the high range, it's got that sort of clicking attack sound. I'm not too fond of it, but I think combined with that, we're not really going to mind it too much. But when the bass comes here, with those stop notes, it's just great. That's really nice. But you know what? For the sake of things, let's try out let's change it to the MS Basic. And we can probably just use a fingered bass. Let's try that. Oh, it's so static and boring. And that's when we realize the power of these MuseSounds is that they can just make it kind of feel a bit more alive. So let's bring back our electric bass and hear that section. And I like the added sort of detail. There's odd harmonics coming through every now and again as presumably the player shifts fingers or picks slightly differently. So yeah, that's a really great sound. Let's keep that one, shall we? Now in this section, we leave behind our first two guitars and we move on to two different ones. We've got this rhythmic riff with the stop notes. And we've got this line which is doubling the bass. Okay, so with the electric guitar 3, I think now might be a good time to use that electric SC clean, and I think that will, let's just solo it with our bass and hear those together. Yeah, that mixes really nicely. And then with this one, I feel like we need a little, it can stand out a little bit more. So this is guitar 4, and let's move it to the SC lead. Now we'll notice that that's already a lot louder because of that extra harmonic distortion, and so mezzo piano, hopefully we'll just dial it back a little bit. And I think we're going to have to do this in here as well. Let's just bring that one down. That's nice. That's great. And those continue for a little while until we get to the pre-chorus, which now introduces the distorted guitars. We've got power chords on the bottom, open fifths, and we've got some fuller chords on the top. And of course, these need to be forte there. So we definitely want some distortion. Let us see about adding those. So this is 5 and 6. Okay, power chords first. Let's go power chords. Electric 6. And so we're definitely looking at these heavy ones, the SC versus the LP. Well, let's hear what it does. Let's start with the LP. Very nice. Now SC. Okay, and what about the fuller upper chords? Let's try those. Let's try that on the LP. And the SC. So I think I actually want to combine these, and let's have the lower, these power chords on the LP, so that's 6. And let's have the top ones on the SC, but we'll just bring it back a bit and balance those out. So let's get those together, 5 and 6, and probably bring 5 down. I really like that sound. That's a nice dark sound. Let's just try it the other way around. No, that doesn't sound nearly so good to me. I'm going to take it back to what it was. Now in this next section we have those same 2 guitars, but now with glisses, and it seems to work quite well on the single line. Yeah, that works pretty well. And on the bottom. So those glisses don't really seem to do much, and I tried here making them separate voices, and that also didn't seem to do too much. Not really hearing that gliss, so that's a little unfortunate. I don't know if it's just a feature of these guitars, maybe the gliss is too quick, but we'd like to hear that kind of slide down to those notes. And then we have this fall here as well. Oh, that's nice. That's such a nice little feature. But of course, added to these guitars is this quick rhythmic riff in mostly semiquavers on the top, which is on electric guitar too, which we had previously as the SC Clean. That's from earlier when it was doing those semiquaver slams. I don't know. I'm sure they've got a word. And it might, we could try it with something else. A distorted sound perhaps to match. No, see, it loses way too much of its clarity there. So I think let's keep that on the SC Clean. I think it'll be a nice little feature coming through. Let's just hear that section. Yeah, very nice. And with that little bit of delay is adding a bit more character too. Okay, so now we get an interlude, and this takes us back to the beginning of the verse, and it gives us a chance to see this electric guitar 4 and using some of these bends and this upward rising line. Let's hear that. So if I'm honest, I'm not hearing the bends. I think it's just too quick. But perhaps we need a guitarist to actually show us how those would work in real life. Yeah, I'm not hearing or feeling the bends. Is it a first finger slide that you do up, or is it an actual bend to the side of the string? I don't know. But it's a very cool effect anyway. And this little interlude also includes this lovely bass gliss. So after the repetition and the verse and chorus, we have this little build-up, again back in our distorted guitars, which leads us to the solo section and the last guitar that we haven't looked at yet, which is probably our lead guitars. So let's just hear the build-up. Cool, very nice. And again, this figure on the... Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we want to listen to the lead. And let's start with an LP lead. So this is electric guitar 7. the SC. Wow, that's awesome. That is, yeah, definitely the SC is the appropriate one here. I don't know why the LP is not hitting that high note, but interesting. But definitely that's the one we need. And you know what? I mean, we can add some delay onto that as well. Give it some extra, I think. I can hear a little bit of this vibrato, but you know, this is supposed to be a, where does it say in the palettes? Guitar. It's supposed to be a guitar vibrato wide, you know, wow, wow, wow kind of thing, and we're not hearing that. It would be really cool if we could like access its properties, and ooh, hello. Maybe we can. Nope, we can't do anything with its playback, unfortunately. Okay, we can just give it a different symbol. But still, all these bends happening there, the doubled notes, and the straight synthy sound seems to match the feel really well. This section also in our distorted guitar in this high range sees these quarter tone bends, I think they would be. Which is a really cool feature. Again, I'm not hearing the actual bend of each one. They just seem to be sitting on that quarter tone higher. Yeah, again, any guitarists who'd want to show us how this should really be done and how it should sound, maybe we can give some feedback to MuseScore and they can figure it out. So I'm really impressed with these MuseSound guitars. They've got a wide variety of different sounds. And of course, don't forget that even if you pick a clean one, you can still, in these effects, go and add your own VST effects, things like amp simulators. So perhaps you've got some really nice amp simulators that you've used if you're a guitarist and you've done things in digital audio workstations. MuseScore can now have that capability of adding it in, which means creatively guitarists can have a lot more going for them. And still with all these bends and various different things. Remember, of course, that you can do any of this in tab notation as well. So that I really like this. They're kind of bringing the groups together. It's not just orchestral anymore for music notation, so I really like that. I'll leave you with this coda or outro because it's just such a nice combination of all the different guitars, well, except for these three. But we've got 4 different electric guitars plus the bass and the drums, and it's a great way to end this thing. It's got fulls, it's got glisses, it's got stop notes, everything you could want from guitars. Let's have a listen. Bye for now.